What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Good motherfucking morning. It is October 24th. It's a Wednesday. It's hump day. We're going to have a good old time. I'm not going to hump too much things today. Don't worry, even though we are talking about a coming together of some of the most beautiful and most talented women in the history of wrestling. We're going to talk about Evolution. We're going to find out exactly how we could fix this pay-per-view, since everybody seems to be down on it. I mean, the more that comes out, the Battle Royal seemed to bum everybody out about Evolution. It brought the whole party down. Who would have thought that bringing in all the talent that they couldn't find singles matches for and putting them somewhere with some semblance of meaning would piss so many people off? And to a point, I get it. I understand. I know why people are upset about it. Everybody's going to want their favorites, and everybody's going to want everybody to have a highlight and all of those type of things. Unfortunately, you can't always do it. You do the best that you can. Did WWE do that here? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they have not done everything they could have done to get this as much hype as they possibly could, but that's what we're here for today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the card, and we're going to make some changes, some fixes, and we're going to show you exactly how this could have went very easily from a, 5 or a 6 just on match card alone to a strong 8, 9, or 10. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to get into Smackdown in just a moment. Really quick, I'm going to gloss over it because really wasn't much to talk about. Not that it was a bad show. Again, it's like you can't say that the wrestling is always bad with WWE on Raw and SmackDown, but Jesus Christ, there needs to be some sort of excitement, and that's what we're not getting. It was a very humdrum episode of SmackDown, and we're going to talk about just a little bit. We're going to gloss over it. Not much more than what I just said, to be completely honest. But first, I got my first ever pre-show super chat donation. Never had anybody come into the chat this early and throw $10 in and ask for my opinion on something. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight that shit first. We're going to go and talk about what Auntie asked me to talk about really quick. And he said, and threw $10 in the super chat and said, "Coming in early, Dave. I'll be working while it's live, but wanted to support. Also wanted to ask, besides, how do you feel about Sasha's attitude? Do you feel she's talented and deserves more than tag matches or not?" Sasha's difficult, and I mean that in every way that you could possibly say. Her situation is difficult because she does have a little bit of an attitude. It would seem, I'm basing off of her social media interactions, and I can always tell when she's going to lose a match because her body language is bad. Look, if people were going to bury Jay Cutler and other quarterbacks and NBA players and anybody else for body language, it has to remain true in wrestling as well. And Sasha, to me, is a prime example of that. Her attitude is constantly shit. It's constantly just one of those things that you're worried about. Is she going to make a tweet referencing her leaving or vaguely suggesting that she might? You never know with Sasha. And when she's hurt, she'll simply tweet out things like, "I miss wrestling." It suggests that there's more to it than just her own injuries, which seems to be the case most of the time. She misses out on opportunities because of her injuries. She's one of those people who seems to be made of glass, and that's not a big shot at Sasha. It's just a reality. But I do think she's immensely talented. I don't think that she was worthy of a lot of the hype that she got coming out of NXT, even though I was one of those people who was on that hype train. I thought that she has just everything going for you, the attitude, the persona, the look, all of it. But the wrestling has not really been there the way you want, but unfortunately, that's not very fair either, because the opportunity hasn't always been there. Even in the big matches that she's worked on the main show, it always seemed to be about propping something else up, whether it be a first of something or getting the belt back to Charlotte, whatever the case may be. It was always about something else, and that's the problem I have with the women's evolution, revolution, and the whole shebang-a-bang with that. As much as I love the moniker, I love the idea that, this is the evolution of women, we're going to support that, we're going to, women first, blah, 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 all that. It's great, it's wonderful. But the problem is, you're hyping this idea more than you are the wrestlers behind it. And that could be a big, tricky thing to balance and make work, because you're sitting here focusing on the revolution, the evolution, women, 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 women. But where's the emphasis on the specific women that got us there? That's what evolution's supposed to be, by the way. Evolution is supposed to be a celebration of everything woman that got us to this point and where we're going in the future. We're not getting that. It's not coming across. And I think a lot of people are having a hard time connecting with it, and that's where all of the criticism is coming from. And I think it's very fair. So hopefully that answered your question on Sasha a little bit there. As much as I do love Sasha, I think that I really don't know. You know, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how to fix the entire situation with Sasha. I don't know what would be the easiest thing. The first and foremost, separate her from Bailey. You get them on separate shows. They are not good together. I'm sorry. They're great as opponents, but now they got this weird relationship where they were about to fight, then they weren't about to fight, then they are about to fight, then they get Dr. Shelby involved, and that situation goes nowhere. Now they're tagging again. It looked like they were going to be building a tag team division around them, but yet, no, they didn't. Now they're in a triple threat match that really doesn't make a lot of sense because we've already seen every possible combination of all of these women with the Riot Squad and Natalya and such, that it's just repetitive garbage. And honestly, it's the one match that I would 100% remove completely from this event. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment and get into a lot of the fixes and changes, because there are a lot of things that needs to be addressed. And I'm hoping we're going to see some things that will change, but probably nothing that I'm suggesting, because a little of it is kind of out there, and we're going to talk about it. First, big shout out to the chat. I see Super Bears up in here. Didn't she win the belt a few times, only to lose it very quickly? That can be frustrating. Yes, but 2 of those were because of her injury issues. It's not like WWE was just hot potatoing for the sake of hot potatoing. You know, you got to remember, during those times when she was, you know, in the belt, the title contention and all that, she was getting hurt quite frequently. And that's an issue. And if she's not getting hurt, she seems to be hurting other people. And that's a problem as well. Vince is just not high on her. And I get it. It's about size at the end of the day. And it's not just for the look. Vince always liked bigger wrestlers because they're workhorses. They can do what they do 365 days, essentially. Big wrestlers, man or woman, can walk into a ring and dominate their opponent. They can do whatever they need to do to hide injuries, to not make them look so impactful, and all of that. And it's something that's been lost in this entire new age, this new culture of flippy-dippy, smaller wrestlers. What's the one thing they all have in common? Almost all of them are injury prone. They're constantly getting hurt because they're blurring the lines and they're bending the rules of what wrestling's supposed to be. The whole point of professional wrestling is to bring you to a place of believing that something horrific is happening, and it's supposed to be done through these incredible acts of strength and endurance. But nobody's supposed to get hurt. You know, that's what you know. That's the wink and the nod. The fact that you could punch somebody in the face and they're okay. In reality, I know, and you know, if I punch anybody in this chat, well, maybe not me, because I got boxing gloves on my knuckles because I'm fat. But the reality is, most people, you hit somebody, you're going to feel that. You know, if you hit them in a certain spot, they're going to look different, they're going to act different, and we know that. And that's what wrestling's supposed to do. It's supposed to take that away. But we have these new age of wrestling where it's all the smaller people who are doing these incredible acts of flippy dippy. They're blowing out knees. They're hurting other people. It's become an epidemic, and it's reasoning that the WWE has always preferred the bigger athletes, and it makes sense. In the women, it's a little bit even more difficult because you kind of, right now with this evolution and revolution, you're expecting more. So you want to see these big spots. I mean, Charlotte, very great athlete, incredible endurance, great body, great build. She could take a lot of punishment, but she gets all crazy with the flippy dippy and hurts herself quite often as well. She blew out a titty, for fuck's sake. That's another problem that men don't have to worry about. Even with my big jugs here, I don't got to worry about blowing out a titty. Can you imagine that? Constantly worrying every night if you're going to blow out a boob? Fuck, that's awful. but it's something that they have to worry about, and there's all these different factors. So there's just more that goes into it with the women, and it's hard to pinpoint a single thing. So hopefully it's going to figure out. We'll see. All right. Smackdown. Let's just what happened? I like everything was rehash. They really didn't build anything. I understand that Evolution is not your traditional pay-per-view, so this is not a traditional go-home show type of week. I get that. We're still going to find out more about who's actually competing at Evolution tonight with the NXT and the women's finals and all that type of stuff. We're going to find out a lot more going into Evolution, and I get that. But still, it's quite aggravating that SmackDown just went with weird things, like a Shane McMahon announcement that seemed to be for nothing. There was nothing there. He did handle the CM Punk chance rather well, though. I'm getting tired of that. Fans could fuck off with the CM Punk chance. I'm getting real tired of it. You attention whores. You Jesus Christ, do you need a bottle? Do you need attention? Do you need me to come in there and rub your little backs? Shut the fuck up. It's driving me nuts. I'm getting to the point where I can't deal with it anymore. Stop it. Stop it. Stop making it about yourself, you cunts. It's not always about you. Not always about you. But granted, it was boring. So I may have chanted it as it was too, because I'm a big old hypocrite. But yeah, it was one of those shows. You know, we got another match between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. Inexplicably, Randy wins again. Jeff seems to have no momentum going into the World Cup. I mean, none at all. It's been quite bizarre how they booked this. And I know they're trying to keep Randy strong, and I'm assuming it's for a reason. I'm assuming we're going to get AJ versus Randy at some point, probably very soon. If not him, then Daniel Bryan, if he's going to be the champion. But SmackDown even kind of muddled the lines of that as well, because it seems like Daniel Bryan is starting to act in a very heelish manner, at least with his interactions with AJ. But that can be very convoluted because they are having a fight very soon. So there should be some hostility. It can't be 100% respect. It doesn't work. You got to have some sort of tension, and that's what they're trying to do with Daniel Bryan. At least that's what it seems. So I could give 2 popcorn farts about the New Day and the Bar with the new edition of the Big Show. I thought it was the funniest thing we got out of SmackDown 1000 last week is we also got, and now I know why they called it 1000, because it was the 1000th turn of the Big Show. He's face, he's heel, he's face, he's heel, he's face, he's heel. Just fuck it, he's a giant. Just be a giant. Just be a giant. You don't have to be something in particular. It drives me nuts. He's switched so much. It's become a joke at this point. It's a meme. So I don't care about that. It's just a bunch of who gives a shit from last night. It was one who gave a shit after another. Miz and Rey Mysterio is probably the best thing that we got. It's very weird to me that Miz also seems to have no direction anymore. Like, as hot as things were going with The Miz and Daniel Bryan coming off of that, they've just gone flat ever since the end of that feud. They're trying to get him in the Miz TV stuff, and he's just running down people, but it's really not accomplishing all that much. And now with the loss to Rey Mysterio, while it makes sense considering Rey is being touted as one of the greatest ever, it also just gives us this moment of what the fuck's going on with The Miz. Where is he going to go? Now, personally, I don't care because I'm not the biggest Miz fan, but he is incredibly important to that show. He does draw. He's a very safe, reliable worker. He's not a bad wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, and he can be straight up entertaining a lot of the time. He's somebody you want to have in your show in some capacity, but you got to use him properly. And I think that is something in that. When do you hear me saying use Miz better? Never. That's when he never says this. It's crazy. But, yeah, SmackDown just didn't do much for me. Not enough to warrant a full-on review, I'll tell you that. And there will be some days on this show where I will just use it as a Raw review or a SmackDown review if I don't end up doing live reviews, which, by the way, is not out of the realm of possibility. Just saying. Stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff happening. Okay. GunCannon in the chat. I just want that final turn for Big Show, the turn towards retirement and working in the back. Which needs to happen, by the way. I want to see Big Show on commentary one day. I want to see Big Show mentoring big wrestlers. Because he does know how to work as a giant. He does. He knows how to be that I wish he can get a hold of Braun Strowman a little bit and kind of teach him where he needs to turn it down and in some instances turn it up. So hopefully that'll happen. Mark Potter, Evolution sucks. I can't say that. We haven't seen the event yet. Maybe the match card is a little underwhelming, but we're about to get into that, and hopefully we can make some fixes and changes to make it a little bit better. Granted, it's all for nothing because it's fantasy, but life is just a fantasy. Can you live this fantasy life? Sorry. Mikonethafly says, CM Punk is not coming. He don't like wrestling anymore. I don't know why people think he's coming back, but I want him to come back, but he is not. With CM Punk, I do think he will come back eventually. It will be on his terms. It will be the way he wants, but eventually I see him doing some sort of one-off. There's too much money in it not to. But he's also an egotist, and he's incredibly prideful. And even if he loses everything in his life, he would still probably fight coming back to wrestling tooth and nail. That's just who Phil is. That is CM Punk to a T. It's just who he is. But we'll see. Let's see. Mickle says, finally works in the back. He is like security to break wrestlers up, and they finally used the wrestler. Did you just rob Deer Duck us, Dave? Yes, I did, Gunny, and that's why I love you so much. I do indeed. I do. Makad, agreed, I'm tired of the fans as well as they think they are the whole show. Yeah, it can get annoying. I don't mind it. You know, I don't mind that happening. I don't mind seeing the fans, you know, become part of the spectacle. But when they blow up promos, they blow up matches because they just want attention. You know, I still look back at WrestleMania. They didn't even give Reigns and Lesnar a chance. I rewatched that match recently without the sound. It's not that bad. It really isn't. And just from 10 seconds into the match, the fans just shit on it. They absolutely took a dump on it. And I get that it was that hour leading up to that final match that did not help it at all. I mean, the Braun Strowman Nicholas thing was mind-numbingly stupid, but it is what it is. It was just very insane. Mark Potter, Reigns will come back bald. I highly doubt that. I suggest he just cut off those beautiful locks now, make a great high-end wig out of it, and then just stitch it to his head if he ends up having to have chemo and lose his hair. But I don't know if he's going to. Leukemia is a weird one. Sometimes they don't have to go super aggressive. We don't know how bad this is. We don't know how bad that it's come back. But again, all we can really say is best wishes to Roman Reigns. All right. Antonio Hernandez. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Dave, love your bargain hunting channel. Anything coming soon? Is there really going to be a crown jewel, or are they switching the event somewhere else? First question. Yeah, you know, I had plans for more episodes of Trash or Treasure. The guy who was editing for me just ghosted me completely. I did have somebody else who was going to fill in and get the next episode out, but that's turned into a cluster jam. So right now it's just kind of out in the world. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm focusing on the things that I can actually have a little bit of control over, and that's this and the Twitch streaming. So Dead on Dave Lives, the regular night show, is going to be not exactly on hiatus, but it's not going to be as frequent. I'm going to try to do it once or twice a week and do it open call-ins, but this is kind of going to be the crux of my focus going forward. This is something I can manage. I'm just going through way too much at the moment. In my personal life, you know, physically, mentally, it's just a lot going on. I can handle this. You know, the morning, I seem to get worse as the day goes on, so this works best for me, and we're going to still do everything on Twitch, so please follow me there as well. We're going to be playing all kinds of fun games. I'm finding fan interaction games that you can play with me, like marbles and games like that, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Be over there with us, and we do appreciate it. And remember, you can always take control. If you donate to the channel and you support it, you can control what games I play. That's the game flip rules. You can find out more about that in description boxes over on Twitch, or just ask me a direct question, and I'll tell you all about it. And we do appreciate that donation that we got at the beginning of the show on Super Chat. That was very, very nice. Very nice. Can't wait to get that in 3 months. That's how Super Chat works. I love it. To answer the Crown Jewel question, every day it seems to be looking more and more obvious that they're moving this. They're not canceling it. They're not canceling. Crown Jewel is happening. It is absolutely happening. Let's fucking focus on that. It's happening. Where? I don't know. Meltzer is trying to now walk back his narrative from last week, saying that, and the funny thing is, he didn't have to be so stupid. Last week, Meltzer and a whole bunch of other people said that WWE is steadfast in making sure Crown Jewel happens. In saying that, he never specified whether it was Saudi Arabia. So this week, when he's talking about WWE's now frantically looking for a new location for Crown Jewel, so he doesn't even have to admit that he's wrong from his reporting last week. All he had to say was, this was always going to be the plan. But he's stupid, and he thinks you're all stupid, so he doesn't fucking even realize that he put himself in a spot because he doesn't have any sources. There are no sources. I was able to predict the exact same thing, and I don't have a fucking source in the world. But I've had this predicted better than almost anybody else that has sources because it's common sense. The second all that damning evidence started to pile in about Saudi Arabia, it made it almost 100% that WWE could not take that product to Saudi Arabia. It was not going to work. Not with everything that was going on with, Linda being on Trump's board. The fact that Trump hasn't condemned the situation makes it harder for WWE, but I am definitely in the mindset that the Crown Jewel's happening. It's just going to happen somewhere else. And GunCannon actually had this called pretty well himself because he made note of the fact that they're going to be in the UK anyway during that time running an adjacent show. So why not just move it to wherever you're going? They can advertise the O2 Arena and sell that out in fucking days. There's a lot of things that they could do to make this work. They have full sale available at their leisure. There are plenty of places that they could go to make this happen where it doesn't have to be a big fucking deal. But Crown Jewel is absolutely happening. I'm just 100% sure it is moving. What is your name on Twitch to say? Yeah, it's Dead on Dave. Dead on Dave on Twitch. Super easy. Antonio Hernandez. The Crown Jewel moniker would still work in England. It can work anywhere. It can work anywhere. The Crown Jewel moniker can literally work anywhere because this will be a Crown Jewel moment in the crown of WWE. They can always make that work. It doesn't really have to be a specific location, but I agree England would make a lot more sense. Superheroes, all of his sources are long gone. Yes, it is. Tim Hand, give this man a like. That's a very good point. Drop a like on the video. Support the channel in any way that you can. Tweet out the stream. That's a very, thank you, Tim, you sexy man. Makat, I believe they know exactly where it's going to move. They are just being hush-hush about it. Agreed. I think they already have this completely planned out, more than we are giving them credit for. And Lost Soul, hey bro, how are you? Let's not talk about that because I'm not great right now. I'm sick. Room's spinning a little bit, but I'm all right. Let's get into Evolution. That's the whole crux of today's show, this morning's show. Hopefully you're having a cup of coffee and enjoying all the wonderful talk. And remember, this is not just going to be a wrestling show. This is all combat sports. If things are going on in the boxing, the MMA, whatever type of world, we're going to be talking about it. Strikeforce, UFC, professional boxing. We're going to get into all of those things because it's one of my passions. I love all of this stuff. So you're going to be noticing a lot of different things happening on this show, and I'm very, very, very excited about it. All right. I'm going to get it to more of your questions a little bit later. Just go ahead and save them. Bring them up at the end of the show once I've already gone ahead and done everything I wants to do with this fixing type show. All right. Also, feel free to get into Discord. I will be in waiting call. Oh, well, get in a waiting call, and I'll drag you up into my copious zone of silence. It won't be silent when you're there. I'm just awful at saying words right now. That's totally fine. Let's get into this card. All right, the current card reads like this. You got Bailey and Sasha Banks versus Natalia. What the fuck? No. Bailey versus Sasha versus Natalia versus the Riot Squad. What? This definitely can't be right. It's Bailey, Sasha, Natalia versus the Riot Squad. This is worded very, very weird on the Wrestling Inc. website. You have Trish and Lita versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. You have the Battle Royal that is going to have a whole bunch of people in there. Molly Holly, Ivory, Alundra Blaze, Michelle McCool, Dana Brooke, all kinds of people. Maria Kanellis. They're all going to be there. Tori Wilson. Bunch of people going to be in the Battle Royal. That seemed to piss a lot of people off. The Mae Young Classic Finals will be happening. Yes, it will. Spoilers coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it's your fault. All right. The Mae Young finals, of course, it will be revealed tonight, but it is Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. All right, so that is going to be. Why I did it again. It's Io Shirai. I always want to put an L in there, Lo. Jesus Christ, I did it again. Io Shirai. My God, yes, that will be the finals of the Mae Young Classic. We already know that. I can't remember who is actually be taking on Rhea Ripley for her UK Women's Championship, which I love that they put it on Rhea Ripley. Again, another spoiler in case you don't know. So there was your spoilers. NXT Women's Championship, Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. SmackDown's Women's Championship match, last woman standing, Becky and Charlotte. In the Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. We got to fix this card. All right, we got to fix this card, and we're going to do that right about now. GunCannon says, what about Armored Combat, Dave? Yeah, I can get into that shit too. If you give me some nice videos of you getting hit in the face with sticks and shit, I'll put that on the channel any day of the week. Twice on fucking Sundays. Also, I don't think they're burying CM Punk. Vince would kill to get him back. I don't know if that's true, Lost Soul. Vince isn't that type that looks back longingly, especially when wrestlers are pains in the asses. He knows that this is a very cyclical business, and people eventually come back, and typically he waits for them to bridge the gap, or somebody will be a middleman, like Triple H was with Bruno Sammartino. The Undertaker, the Ultimate Warrior situation was very, very weird. Most people still don't even realize how that even happened. So, you know, it is what it is, and will CM Punk ever come? Would WWE be happy to have him back? Absolutely. But I think they'd be happy to have anybody back who's a big draw. So, it is what it is. Okay. Let's go to my picks here. Now, some of these are not exactly possible, and I have different scenarios for different parts of the show. So, first thing I would do, I would make sure I opened with a bikini contest. That's right. I'd open with a bikini contest because this is about celebrating everything that got us to this point. And the reality is, you can't tell the story of the women's revolution without looking at the endless bra and panty and lingerie and bikini contests. It's just the reality of it. And there's very, very easy people to put in this. You have Tori Wilson, Kelly versus Sable. You go ahead and you market that as the bikini contest to end all bikini contests, because all three women still look amazing, and all three women can certainly still rock a bikini. You know it. I know it. WWE knows it. But here's where you flip it, because this isn't about just doing the exact same things from the past. It's a way to fix it and make it better going forward. So how do you do that? As soon as these women are about to disrobe, the most annoying music in the world hits once again as Right to Censor shows up. But only one of them. We don't need the men for this. We just need Puritan Ivory. That's all we need. We need Ivory in her garb coming out. And that is basically the beginning to either a one-on-one matchup between her and one of the three that we already spoke, even though that is not a very good selection to choose from. Of the three, I'd probably pick Kelly. But you can simply have her blow that up and go, no, we're not doing this. There's something way more important that's happening than a bikini contest. We got the Battle Royal, and I would like a little bit of a change to the Battle Royal, because I don't like that it's just a future title shot. I wanted, and maybe it was announced that it would be this, or I just made it up and had a delusional fever dream. But either way, this is how it should be. Battle Royal for a title of choice later in this very night. That's why it's so important to have the Battle Royal open up. Now, what that does is it gives you options, because now having people like Alundra Blaze, Ivory, so many more makes sense, and Asuka, and all the people that they really have not put anything together for the show. This gives them purpose and meaning, and it's a bigger little dangle than an arbitrary future title match, or God forbid, a trophy. We don't need that. We need something that drives this show forward. And how you do that is you put one more entrant into this Battle Royal. Sarah Del Rey, or Sarah Amato, one of the head trainers down in NXT. She is one of the greatest women's wrestlers ever to step foot on this planet, and she's never really had an opportunity to shine on a WWE level. This would do something amazing. It would recognize everything she's done for women down there in NXT, also giving credit to her past accomplishments and give her a chance to do something special. Now, I would take it a step farther and even have her win the whole goddamn thing. My other two selections, one is impossible, Tessa Blanchard. I think the WWE is going to look back on Tessa Blanchard as one of the biggest mistakes they've ever made. I love Tessa so much, it's not even funny. I'm a fan of the Blanchard family, always have. I love Tully. I love Tessa even more. She is Charlotte in so many ways, but a little bigger, a little bit more polished. She knows how to tell stories just as well, if not better. I love everything about Tessa Blanchard. I would absolutely love to see her win this thing coming back to WWE, even though we know that's 100% not going to happen. But it would be one of my only fantasy things that I'm putting into this card building. Most of the other things are already in place or the women are available. Tessa obviously is not. So for me, the Battle Royal would come down to either Sarah Del Rey or Asuka. Now that's difficult because of how bad they buried Asuka, but this would be a way of stepping forward. And I think if you could put something together where Asuka wins the Battle Royal and she has a choice of facing any champion that she wants later in the night, it gives you so many things that you can do. You could throw curveballs or you can go ballsy. And I'm going to tell you how I would go ballsy a little bit later on. So that's how I would handle it. And by the way, I see some old school names up in the chat. I see Kakarabia in the chat. Man, what's going on, pal? It's good to see you. It's been a while. Super Bears, the Mae Young Invitational Bikini Contest. Now I'll throw up. Lasso, Brock would lose his mind, though, Dave. Fuck a Brock. That's right. I said it. He ain't here. Fuck him. Makata and all three women can't wrestle. Very, very true. Leap and Legend. Let's celebrate women the best way they know how. Show some puppies. That's right. That's right. And also bring back Sunny. Yeah. Well, she is out of jail, so it's a possibility. And I'm sure she's looking for a check. Sorry, Sunny. It's just a reality. Love you, girl. Like she gives a fuck. Make sure you guys get into my Discord. Do not forget we are taking calls, questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, quips, quotes, and so much more. Let me go ahead and throw the Discord link in the chat for you guys, because I'm not lazy. I can do it. I don't need my mods to do everything for me. So if you want to jump in, wait, and call, I will take any question that you have. But we're going to continue on right now with our changes, our fixes. So that would be the first two things that I would do. Now, in the next match, this is where I would get way out of the box, and this is where we'd see our first major change to anything. I would take the Bella Twins. Nikki does not need to be in that match with Ronda, and I think that we can come up with a better solution. So let's keep the Bella Twins together and have a match that people might actually give a fuck about. The Bella Twins versus the Iconics. It's right there. It's a layup. This makes all the sense in the world, right? It may not be a good match. In fact, I can guarantee you it'll be the worst thing that's on the fucking show. But it would make sense. And if you want to step it up and go back into the fantasy realm a little bit, you could even get crazier by bringing in HAIKU as well. Make it a triple threat of three teams that are almost identical to each other, pun intended. And then if you could go back into the fantasy realm, there's even something else you can do. Why not get the beautiful people to show up on the ramp, show up in the crowd, maybe do a run-in, something. Granted, the beautiful people were not a WWE product, even though some of them have been in the WWE in one shape, form, or another. But it would be a cool homage to women's wrestling in general, because I believe Evolution just really isn't about WWE in and of itself. I think it's about more than that, or at least the WWE certainly could project it as such by bringing in some of the outside women that are so important. And Sarah Amato would be a very, very good first step for that, because although she's done so many great things in NXT, you know, with training, she hasn't really stepped in a WWE ring. So I think if you can find a way to integrate people in, it would be something pretty cool. So to have the beautiful people come in as some sort of a run-in, some sort of spot, just get them visual with those other three teams, I think it could be something pretty special because the match isn't going to be. We know that. That match would not be great. But yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Masonry was just an attorney, so that's what part of it would make sense. But I don't know if you're getting anybody else. But what I'm saying is it's a possibility. One of the biggest omissions for me is where are the big women love in this event? I mean, in one shape, form, or another, we've had some big, powerful women in the past. Incredibly powerful. So why not pay homage to them? And here's how I would do it. I would either do it in a one-on-one triple threat or fatal four-way match, and these are the people that I would have in that match. Nia Jax, the present, and the future, really, versus Awesome Kong, Karma, or versus the alpha female. She was in the tournament last year for WWE, and I know Jazzy Gabbard very much wants to come back, versus Beth Phoenix. You get four of the most important big women wrestlers from the past, present, and future going at it in a really cool spectacle match. We get these with the men, but we rarely get them with the women. The irresistible force versus the immovable object. We don't get those. It's always the big woman squashing the little woman or the little woman upsetting the big woman. Where is the love for these big, powerful, beautiful women to just go clang and bang? That's what I want to see, and I think it would work very well with these four in some combination. But Nia Jax must be in this match. She has to be. Everybody else is kind of interchangeable. You can do a one-on-one with any of those other three women, or you can have them all in one big matchup, and I think it would be a lot of fun. So that's what I would do. Here's another match that we're going to do next that would be a huge change from what they're already doing. And this could be very cool. Alexa Bliss already has a match, the tag team stinker, that is her and Mickie James versus Trish and Lita. I would scrap this completely. I think there's a better thing to do with Trish and Lita that would make a lot more sense, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But for Alexa Bliss, I would love a respect angle with her and Alundra Blaze. I would love to see Alundra a few weeks ago come out and confront Alexa Bliss because Alexa's talking all this garbage about the past, and what she's already done, so it's kind of perfect, about the past and how it didn't matter. She's new school. They could do old school versus new school, and that would be a lot of fun. Alundra Blaze comes out, confronts her, tells her she's going to teach her a lesson she'll never forget, and this is where they would have a nice homage to the past for Alundra Blaze. You have somebody in Alexa Bliss's corner. You have one of the biggest rivals that Alundra Blaze, Medusa, ever had in Bull Nakano. Legendary Bull Nakano, or as Dusty Rhodes used to say, Bull Nakano. I love that shit. That brings me back. I feel 12 years old again. Have Bull Nakano in the corner of Alexa Bliss, coaching her up. You have two iconic women. If you're into professional women's wrestling, these two are so iconic and they're so important. Their matches were legendary. Wherever they fought all over. And it was always great. They fought all over the world. It was fantastic. And I would absolutely love to see those two around each other one more time. And you could book this any way you want. You could be really smart with the booking, and you can have, Bull turn on Alexa. You can have Bull get involved and beat up Medusa one more time. You can have a post-match thing. There's so many things you can do here. Or you can simply have it as a respect angle. Learning respect, giving respect, teaching respect. That could be a lot of fun. That could be a lot of fun, and I think it's something that's sorely missing that they're trying to do with Trish and Lita, but they never really addressed it very well. So that's how I would address it with that. I think it would work exceptionally well. Then we have the other half of the match that we just scrapped, essentially. Because I would not do Trish and Lita versus Sasha and Bailey. What I would do is two matches here. You have two matches there that you can easily do with those four women. And this could be paying homage to the past, and both of them can do it. Let us finally get Sasha and Bailey. Why can't we just let that happen? Sasha and Bailey, they could have built this. There was so much build already with it. Why not take advantage of it? That doesn't make a lot of sense. But, they could do something here to make it all make sense. You could do something that turns this entire thing around and let them relive, because remember, they were two of the first to really get this going in NXT. They were given the opportunity down there to headline a show on their own, and they killed it. They blew the house down. No burning. They blew the fucking roof off that joint and the walls went flying out. They killed it. And I would love to see some sort of homage to that. So you can have that match as well as Trish versus Lita. One of the most important matches of WWE Women's Wrestling history. Still regarded as one of the better title matches in women's wrestling history, and it's certainly something that I think even at their age, they can do. Now, I understand what the worry is, that neither one of these women would be able to compete physically at the level that they did at the time, which is completely understandable. But they look amazing, they seem to be moving well, and it would be fun to get that once more. Now, here's my amendment to that, my addendum. You could simply not do the singles matches that I was just talking about and keep your tag team of Trish and Lita, but why not have those besties versus the besties we just talked about, Sasha and Bailey? It makes a hell of a lot more sense to have them versus Trish and Lita than it does for Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. You know, Mickie makes some sort of sense because of her history with Trish, but what could they do? Maybe, you know what? They could go with Mickie and someone like Zelina Vega, who a lot of people see Lita in, and that could be a lot of fun. That would be something they'd be able to do if they wanted to keep it in that realm and keep Mickie in there, and then you could still do Sasha and Bailey. You would also go ahead and give a great spot to Trish. Maybe taking her and putting her in the spot with Ronda Rousey. So there's options there. And I think that they just made the wrong choice. Now, basically, from this point on, we're back in the bang zone. You know, most of the matches, the title matches, they're pretty much okay as they are. The Mae Young Classic Finals, once again, you're getting a spoiler in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Man, my fingers went all kinds of crazy there. Now it's your fault. Toni Storm versus Io Shirai, which you need to have. It's going to be an amazing match. It's going to be so much fun to see these two tear each other apart. It's something I definitely want to see, so I would leave that alone. No reason to change it. Maybe if you don't want to do the Battle Royal title shot, maybe the winner of this will get to take on the winner of the NXT Championship match. The Women's Championship match is happening later. That's something else you could do. That gives you booking options to put the matches in different orders, would have it make sense. I wouldn't mind having that. You have the NXT Women's Championship. Now, Rhea Ripley is the champion. Spoilers. I don't know if that has actually happened on television yet, but Rhea Ripley is the NXT Women's Champion. And I think it's a fantastic, the NXT UK Women's Champion, NXT UK, which is awesome. I think she's a great choice for that. And who I would have her face is Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is someone who needs a title desperately. She's been around in NXT for so long. Let's bump her to NXT UK and give her that title shot against Rhea Ripley. Not only would it be a fun match to watch because they're both that darker, cool character, they can both go. Plain and simple. They can go, and that could be a hell of a lot of fun. Even make it a damn a hardcore match if you wanted to. If you wanted to, let the women do something that you don't typically get to see them in. That would be a lot of fun. Something I'd be very, very, very for. After that, you got the NXT, the regular NXT's Women's Championship. Kairi Sane defending against Shayna Baszler. That should be amazing. I'm expecting that to be the one of the match of the night finals right there. You know, that's going to be something people are going to be talking about. That's going to be great. Don't need to change it. Don't need to change it. That match is perfect just the way it is. Then you got the SmackDown Women's Championship match, last woman standing, Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Also, love it the way it is. Wish we wouldn't have had so many matches between these two as it is, but still, I'm okay with this as it is set. Should be a lot of fun. Last woman standing gives you options to bring people in, to get people involved. There's a lot that you can do with that, and I would take advantage. I would take advantage because you don't have to jam everybody into the Battle Royal. You can get them in spots, especially if you can sign any of them long term. This also gives you an opportunity to bring up somebody from NXT that maybe hasn't had the opportunity, and I'm looking specifically at Shayna Baszler. If Shayna Baszler loses again to Kairi Sane, there is no reason to keep her in NXT. None at all. It's time to move her up, and her getting involved in that match and going to SmackDown is something they could do very easily. That would make a lot of sense. It would honestly be a lot of fun to watch, so I wouldn't mind that at all. But what do we do about the main event? What do we do about the Raw Women's Championship match? You know Ronda Rousey has to close the show. She is so over, and she's such a draw. This is their headline. This is their Rock. This is their Stone Cold. This is the woman that could get it done. She's still green, yes, but man, is she so much fun to watch in the ring. She does so many great things. But who do you have her face? This is difficult because if you don't do anything else with the Bellas that we said earlier, you could theoretically keep Nikki in the match, have it a squash, pay homage to the past of the divas and all that, but make sure it's known that there's no contest here. Ronda needs to kill Nikki one way or another, but when she does that, that offers an opportunity to do something more, thus giving the opportunity to whoever won the Battle Royal earlier in the night, whether it's Asuka or who I would have put in there and picked Sarah Del Rey. You have that match be the true main event. It's a backdoor secret main event that people knew was coming but weren't completely expecting, and it could really throw the entire night for a loop in the best possible way. But if you don't want to go that route, if you'd rather have it, keep it relatively simple, you could do something that would be a great match, but it's impossible to do. Gail Kim. Gail Kim doesn't get the credit that she deserves from a lot of mainstream wrestling fans. Incredibly talented, one of the greatest in-ring performers I've ever seen, man or woman. She's great. And she's had 2 goes with WWE, and bitterness has just consumed the entire relationship. So for so many reasons, it couldn't happen. But I also think this is an opportunity for Awesome Kong. If she was healthy, if she was able, I would love to see her in this spot for the same reasons as Gail Kim. Awesome Kong is so important to the industry, and you can bring her back as Karma, and it would make sense. Her and Ronda, that would be a lot of fun. We've already seen Ronda work with Nia Jax, so all this makes sense and have a good ability. But me personally, Ronda versus Sarah Amato, Sarah Del Rey, makes the most sense for me, and it would be a hell of a lot of fun to see that go down. So that would be the way I would fix this matchup. This is how I'd fix the entire card. What do you guys think? What would you do? Is it something you guys that maybe see that I don't see? Put your suggestions in the comment section, either here live or if you're watching this on demand later. Put it down there. Interact with me. I want to know what your perfect Evolution match card would be. If you want to jump in the wait and call, I am there ready to take your calls, your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your quips, your quotes, your likes, your loves, and so much more. Want to hear from you. Now the show goes as long as you guys take us. We're going to take all your questions that you might have in the chat as well as on Discord. Hit me up. It's time to answer whatever you might have for me today. Makad says, agreed. Gail Kim was great in-ring and out, in my opinion. I agree with that. PK says, sup, Dave. Sup, motherfucker. GunCannon, back in the bang zone, Dave. Really? Yeah. Suck me. Also, you know what would have been better than a power match if Chyna was still alive? She would have dominated. Well, yeah, but she's dead, unfortunately. It's like, we could will a whole bunch. I would like to have, Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Sherry fucking Martel. I know she's not dead, but I'd also like to get Wendy Richter involved in this. I think it's unfortunate that she'll probably never, ever appear for the WWE again, but that's something I would love to see. We're not going to get that. There are so many people. Bertha. Big Bertha. Having her in there and maybe having Harvey Wimpleman. There's all these people that we can bring back to life and have a lot more fun with. Luna Vachon. That would be great to have in there. But we can't bring people back to life, unfortunately. Ain't gonna work. Hey, Leaping Lizard, dropping that Discord link in there. Thank you so much. Super Bears, I would have liked to have seen Mickey versus Trish for nostalgia. That's another match that they could have easily done. I think that would have worked and made a lot of sense. But I don't know if you're going to go nostalgia. That's why I went with Trish and Lita. You know, that's nostalgic. It's also one of the most important matches that everybody points to in women's wrestling history. So that would be a lot of fun to see. So I think you need to have that nostalgia moment, and that would be certainly a way to do it. And they're going to have a spot. Don't worry. We will have a nice series of events between Mickie and Trish in that tag team match that I have no interest in. But it'll be there, so maybe you'll get a little bit nipples hard during that. Lost Souls ask, you think AJ Lee is coming back, Dave? No. No, that would be quite surprising if that were to happen. I mean, I'm sure she could. I'm sure the door is open. She's still young enough to actually do some stuff with the WWE and be a factor. But I was never a big AJ fan anyway. I never thought she was all that good. Interesting. You know, her size is the most interesting thing about her. She's so small. Why everybody finds her attractive, I'll never know. I mean, she's cute and everything. Don't get me wrong. Totally not my type. I'm just not into the 10-year-old boy body. It's just not for me. Because I'm sorry, she has a 10-year-old boy's body. I don't want to fuck that. I don't. And I'm sure the feelings are mutual. She would look at this and be like, nope. And I would understand that. GunCannon, I still wish we were getting the WWE Horsemen versus the MMA 4 Horsewomen. Makes me sad that they didn't go in that direction. They couldn't. You got two women who are just simply not ready. They're simply not ready. Can't do it. Now, they could have fixed this with, if Charlotte were the title holder, maybe you bring in Shayna Baszler, you let her get involved, and that kind of sets things going forward. Ronda Rousey and Charlotte would have made sense as well for the same reason, something to build towards. That's a WrestleMania thing to me. It's a WrestleMania or it's a Survivor Series match. One of the two. I think it would work quite a bit. Lost Souls. AJ was good on the mic, but I wasn't attracted to her. I never really found her all that interesting on the mic. It was just crazy. Didn't really care. And her GM role was one of the worst GM roles ever. And that's saying something considering we had Mike Adamle as well. I mean, come on, it's not good. Is Kaitlyn in the Battle Royal? I don't know. I honestly am not sure on that. I really don't know. I would assume she is. You know, she had a really good performance, I thought, in the Mae Young Classic. She looked better than she did back when she was wrestling full time. I personally would love to see her in there. I think you could also do a lot of different things with her in other contexts as well. If you wanted to have her in a singles match, that would have made sense too. Because, you know, while she was in the Divas era, she could go a little bit. I don't know. It's something that I'm sure that they could have done. And I'm sure that if the money's right, Kaitlyn will be there as well. Leaping Lizard, I'm sure AJ is done with wrestling. Last I heard, she has back problems. Yes, because that's what happens when you try to do things when you're 72 pounds. The wind blows and you get hurt. You know, it's like you have nothing to protect yourself. It's Brie Bella all over again. Brie's bigger than AJ, but I guarantee their weight isn't very far apart. The only thing I want to see Brie Bella go one-on-one with is a couple fucking sandwiches. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm degrading women's looks. Fuck all that, son. This is about safety. I'm tired of people getting hurt. Brie Bella can't even control her own motions most of the time. She's that out of control. She's one of the most unathletic people I've ever seen. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The most athletic bone in her body that she's ever had is when Daniel Bryan's on top of her. And I'll take that to the bank. Anyways. GunCannon says, I was hoping for a Mia Yim appearance in the Battle Royal. I'm just pumped she's debuting tonight on NXT. Yeah, I know. You're really excited about that. Now, I am too. I like her. I don't love her, but I do like her. I like what she does. I like her more this year than I did last year. I couldn't stand her last year. I thought her run in the Mae Young Classic last year was pretty bad. So wasn't too much of a fan of that. But I did like what she did this year. And Lost Soul says, and that's the bottom line, because DeadonDave said so. That's right, you stupid jackass. You come down to the Broken Skull Ranch, and I'll stomp a mud hole in your ass while I drink 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers. What? You stupid jackass. Good stuff. Ooh, yeah, my voice was not ready for that. Instantly regret that decision. Think about your life choices, fuckface. Super Bears, the Brie mode power-up is so lame. It just makes me angry. GunCannon, LOL, Brie Bella, the Stormtrooper of the women's division. That's right. That's right. Good God. All right. So, last call, last chance for romance, kids. getting to Waiting to Call on my Discord. The link is right there. Go get it. Hunk of bucks. I don't know. I'm somewhat delusional right now. I have a little, I think I'm sick. Like, the room has not really stopped spinning the entire time I've been on. So if I seem a little bit off, that's the reason why. I don't feel great. I'm still going to try to take the twitch in a little bit, but I'm going to hydrate up. I'm going to try to feel a little bit better. I might even go take a walk. And that's the good thing about keeping all my shows early in the day. It gives me an opportunity to go to Twitch for essentially as long as I want, although I'm not going to go longer than 7:30, 8 o'clock, whenever my soul-crushing radio brethren will be going live on certain days of the week. Tonight, it's OG, Old Guys, Old Games. I highly recommend you guys check it out over on Twitch, SC_radio on Twitch. You're definitely going to want to watch that. So much fun. They're old, they're bad gamers, and they just have fun playing games. It's fun to watch. And tell them KP sent you, okay? So something I would highly recommend you guys going and watch. So it gives me a lot of opportunities to do more in a shorter period of time. So it's good stuff. Antonio Hernandez. Is the World Cup another way to bury things CM Punk did? The tournament to crown the best in the world. Best in the world is not even something that CM Punk came up with. I mean, Chris Jericho was doing that same gimmick, I want to say, before CM Punk was. So that's not a big... I don't know if that has anything to do with Punk. They probably wanted to bring back King of the Ring. And because it was in Saudi Arabia, they decided not to do that. Because King, I guess. I don't know. I honestly don't understand why they're doing a World Cup when it's not... There's hardly anyone international in the tournament. Well, how is it a World Cup? You have, at least when TNA does the World Cup stuff, there's different people from different fucking nations. It makes sense. This doesn't make a lot of sense. The most diverse person they have is Rey Mysterio, and he was born in San Diego. I don't get it. It just makes no sense to me. But oh well. Good Lord. Super Rising Storm, dude, please go have a rest if you're not feeling well. After the pain in the hospital, you shouldn't overdo it. I'm not overdoing it too much. Don't worry. I just... I haven't been as consistent as I want, and I'm very juiced up to be doing these shows again, talking about stuff that I'm truly passionate about. That's no knock against all of the drama and trending topics and stuff, and I still will be doing those on select days of the week. It's just, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm tired of talking about the same old, same old. If I'm going to talk about the same old, I'm going to talk about the things that I know better than almost anybody else on YouTube, on Twitch, in the internet wrestling community, and that is wrestling. This is what I breathe. I've done it my entire life, and I'll continue to do so. It's what we built the back of this channel off of, and it's about time we get back to fucking shit up the way that we do. And I'm very excited to be able to bring stuff back because I figured out the timing now, I think. I hope. Everything is subject to change when it comes to Dead on Davis. One thing that remains constant is the inconsistency. I'm trying to fix that for you guys. But thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. You guys don't know how much it means to me. With the Twitch gaming, we are going to go to Twitch. I'm planning on starting with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you'd rather see another game, whether it be Pokemon, Witcher, Minecraft, so many games. We have a lot of options. Whatever you want me to play, a donation of $10 or more to the channel will get you an hour of whatever of those games. At the very least, I'll start the stream with that instead of Assassin's Creed. Make sure you're over there with me on Twitch. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat right now. It's also down below in the description box. You're gonna want to show up. Don't miss it. Oh, jeez. Well, all right, so you're going to have to copy that. Don't just click on it because I fucking hate YouTube sometimes. Antonio Hernandez, just wondering who is thoughts about Seth Dean feud. What my thoughts are. Fantastic. Fantastic. Talked about this a little bit yesterday. Great move. Great move. It felt emotional. It felt impactful. Some people may not like the fact that they did it on the same night as the Roman Reigns leukemia thing. But the reality is they were able to find a way to make everything feel more important. And they used that fulcrum. You know, to have the brothers completely disband that night was a brilliant move. And they did it absolutely savagely. Savagely, baby. and I loved it. That could be a very fun feud. I'm more interested in seeing those two go at it now than I was in the past, and I'm very, very happy that they pulled the trigger, and they did it so well. Lost Souls, are you still in Germany? I was Vicenza, Italy, 2015 to May of 2018. No, I am not in Germany currently. I'll be going back sometime in late November. By the 4th of December, 100%, because I'm going to have Carl G there laying on my couch with me. So be back certainly by then. But I'll be coming back to Connecticut about 6 weeks after I get to Germany. So because this is where I'm doing most of my stuff now. So, but I will be going back. GunCannon, the only constant is inconsistency. I smell a shirt. Yeah, we need a new merch. The merch store still exists. If you want Dead on Dave merch, there's still some great stuff. The Kneeler Be Knelt, all kinds of good shit down there. Shill, motherfuckers. Yes, go ahead. I like that. The only constant is inconsistency. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And with a nice little crown or something. TKO Rising, yo, Copious King. What up, son? Biggie, looks like I took a wrong turn on Albuquerque. I don't even watch wrestling. Why am I here? Because you love me. Because you need me. Because you have to have me. Antonio, I love Dean Ambrose. I love this Dean Ambrose. He looks more intimidating. Right. It's no more lunatic fringe. He's just a lunatic. And that's what they need to emphasize, and I love that. Josh Lyons, have you pre-ordered Red Dead 2? No, that thing called money is my biggest enemy at the moment. I can barely afford ramen at this time, son, let alone pre-ordering a very expensive video game. I would love to. I know that at some point I'll be borrowing a copy from Jim, but who knows, that's whenever they finish with theirs. I will get to the game at some point. It is definitely one of my most anticipated games, I think, ever. The game looks so incredible. I watched a really cool video on it this morning. I'm really excited about it. I want to play it desperately, and I will as soon as I can. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. When that releases, I'll be getting that as soon as I can. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's another one that I'm super excited about. I wish I had that. I wish I had Fallout 76. I wish I had everything. It's just, it all comes down to money right now. And unfortunately, your boy just doesn't have it. It just is what it is. Fake Alicia teabagging lead on Raw was absolutely amazing. I'm sure you did love that, Fake. Biggie, I guess I did need my DOD fix. I know it's true. What up, Jeff Huffman? Gay! You want him to play Red Dead? Donate all your monies. There you go, Huffman. You tell him. There you go. Not all your monies. I mean, if you only have $60, so then obviously don't donate that. You gots to eats. But yes, I agree with Huffman. Give me all your monies. Antonio Hernandez, who wins, Strowman or Brock? I think McIntyre. Just getting a hunch. McIntyre is going to get involved. He's going to get inserted into the match, and I got a feeling McIntyre is going to walk out of Crown Jewel as the Universal Champion, which I think is the best move they could possibly make. Leap Lizard, I love how everyone shows up in time for the end credits. I know, we're leaving. We're getting out of here. We're getting out of here. It's time to go. Who's calling me? Someone from California. Hello?
With open enrollment
Hey, suck my balls, you fucking goddamn robotic shit. Jesus, you can't get a job? I don't even have a job, but I'm better off than you are. That's probably not true. She probably makes more money than me. I don't really make anything. Fuck her. She's blocked. Goddamn. I'm getting really tired of that shit. Oh, well. I also got a weird text. This is actually a real text, too. This is so funny. Okay, I got to read this. I'm sorry. I don't know these people, so it doesn't matter. So I got this. I'm not even kidding. I got this. Hey, Emily. I missed you. This is Lily. I finally got some time off. Toby and I broke up, and I feel depressed. I need to move on. How are you? I'm not even kidding. That's a real thing. I don't know Emily. I'm not Emily. I don't think I am. Maybe I've got a gender reassignment. I have no idea. And I certainly don't know a Lily. Toby, did Tobes break up with someone and I didn't know? Motherfucker. Absolutely crazy. This is just, it's great. I couldn't make this up. I should respond to it. You're right. I should just become Emily. Oh, God, that's wrong, though. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Antonio, so you think Dolph and Drew disintegrate? I just think they'll go their own ways and eventually go back up, and fight each other. There's really no reason to keep them together. Oh, you know, one thing we didn't talk about was the tag team stuff, about building a women's tag team division, and why that ultimately didn't work and why they didn't go that direction. I'll tell you exactly why. It makes a lot of sense. There's not enough. Even by bringing in all the women that they have as of late, it's not enough to build 2 tag team divisions, let alone 1. Remember, 2 different brands, you would need 2 divisions. So do you really want to create 2 new sets of belts to put on 2 divisions that you can't possibly give enough talent to? I mean, the men's division are not very good. So unless you had some weird circumstance where you allowed just the women's tag team to go on both Raw and SmackDown, or you changed the way the men are organized and allowed 1 tag team to go on both Raw and SmackDown, that's the only way that they'd be able to make this happen. And even then, I don't know if there's enough there to make it a competitive division. So that's why I'm thinking that all got scrapped, if I had to guess. Loss, are you still getting retirement from the VA rating? Sorry to impose. I get my same grand that I've gotten for the past 8 years from a combination of the Army and the VA. Big reason why I'm here is trying to get that upped because they owe me more money and they have for a very long time. I'm working the process. I thought I was very close on Monday. I had what was supposed to be a 3-hour meeting with compensation and pension, which turned out to be the exact same fucking exam that I've had 3 times already. And this time, she hurt me. It was a different chick, different doctor, and she hurt me. She had me twist, and I've been dying ever since. I'm on muscle relaxers. I had to go get prescription drugs, which I don't like doing. Ever since the morphine days where they had me on morphine for almost 3 years, I don't like prescription drugs. Now, I know muscle relaxers are not like a narcotic, like Percocet and all that, but it's still more than I wanted. Just give me a bag of weed, man. Just give me a bag of weed. Prescribe me an ounce a month. That's all I need. That's a lot of weed. It would take me a while to smoke an ounce. But give me an ounce a month. That's it. And I guarantee you it's a lot less than the fucking muscle relaxers that you're going to be prescribing me for the next 3 months, more than likely. Because I'm all jacked up. It hurts so bad, but it is what it is. Sylphid Dave, what up, Sylphid baby? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Catching the ass end of the show. Still seeing if anybody wants to come into Discord and get a couple parting shots in, but we've done our hour and some change, so I'm just doing lip service to fans right now. And you guys love when I service you with my lips. Super Rising Storm. At this point, I'm pretty sure they are stalling time, so it takes even longer for you to get the money. Probably. Fake. Also, I don't think anyone, Dolph and Drew, will be disintegrating. LOL, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not the end of Infinity War. I don't see that happening. Did you go to Ramstein or Launchstuhl? I think I spelled it wrong. I have been to Ramstein and Launchstuhl. My first duty station when I was in Germany was Baumholder, which was very close to Ramstein, and I fly out of Ramstein and fly back into Ramstein when I go back and forth between here and Germany. So pretty cool. And Launchstuhl, very, very familiar with Launchstuhl. That's where I was medically evacuated to twice during my days in Iraq, and that's where I was going to get seen whenever I needed some help. That was the big hospital there, and I'm sure they built it up quite nice. Flo, also, he's been to Ramstein many, many times. Yes, I have, Flo. Yes, I have. Sylphid, come to Vegas, Dave. I'll share all my weed with you, bro. I can't afford to fly to the next county, let alone Vegas. Shit, I could try to get to another military post and hope that I can catch a flight out west, but I can't support myself out there. I can't barely support myself here. How can I support myself there? Fuck that. But I wish you could just give me the weeds. That would be great. Can we get me the weeds? Because I need the weeds. So get me the weeds. I want some weeds. All right, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you've had a fun time on the Morning Slam. We're going to keep doing these as long as I have things to talk about. Going into the rest of the week, I think there will be plenty of things to get to. And not only that, I'm not sure. I haven't touched bases with Tonka. I'm hoping he's going to be here on Friday as we break down Evolution, give you predictions and all that type of stuff. More than likely, that will happen. I made my debut on the Kumite yesterday. Out of nowhere. Tonka was on this show yesterday. We had a lot of fun. And then I got an invite to come and talk about Saudi Arabia stuff on the Kumite, a place I never thought I'd go. But I had an absolute blast. And I got to say, getting to know Tonka has been a really good experience. He's a good dude. He's crazy, but he's a good dude. I highly recommend you checking him out. And check out yesterday and find me. Unfortunately, my internet took a shit and I wasn't able to finish with him, but it was a fantastic show, and I love the segment that we had. We worked very well together, so that was a lot of fun. So there you go. Thank you very much for being here. Keep it copious, folks. Remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have those talented friends. Go watch some wrestling today, motherfuckers. Make you feel good on the inside. Talk to you next time, a little bit later, right on Twitch. Get over there. If I'm not passed out from my sickness, that's definitely making the room spin a little bit faster. Give a little love to the patrons, and if you want to support, there's another way to do it, through Patreon. Peace out, mush puffs. Peace.